I'm gonna explain the pitching in hackathons, and I have a short presentation. Maybe it's just 20 or 30 minutes. I hope that will be enough for you. Let me introduce myself first of all. I'm an English teacher at the state school in Izmir, Turkey, which is in the west part of Turkey, and which is a seaside town. So I'm really lucky about it for vacation, let's say. And I'm also a Gamefed Turkey volunteer, and I'm the captain of projects, which is just for Erasmus, not the other ones, because I don't prefer the other ones. And also Game Hub Thinking Ambassador. Maybe you know or not, Emi Joachim, and she is a great guy, and she is really professional in game design and gamification. And also I conduct Erasmus and Itimening projects, which we do activities with the students and travel to other countries and make some meetings and try to create better education system in our schools. And also National Geographic Certified Educator, blah, 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 blah. Indeed, I'm a very hardworking guy. Let me explain gamification, and I love gamification and game design thinking a lot because it's very useful in education. And let me give a brief information if you have missed some information while Doğan Can was explaining, if you were late. And Gamefed Turkey is a growing independent community platform around startups, and which we make meetups for the well-known people and for the business world, and mentors investors in order to create a vibrant and successful innovative environment for gamification world. As Gamefed Turkey, we really focus strongly on co-working and collaboration, let's say, and co-creation, and ignite the local startup potential, because you know gamification is designed on motivation, increasing motivation in business, in education, in other parts. So we have missions in our country and in all over the world. So I think it's a trendy subject, and it's going to be very common in all over the world as you do a hackathon on that. Let me continue my speech with one of the guy who is really a famous person in gamification world. Gamification is probably more like 75% psychology, and it is 25% technology. Everybody thinks that gamification is designed with the help of technology, but indeed it's about motivation, not about technology. So I would like to express it first of all. Let me continue. And you're going to run hackathons, and I hope that you know it just a little bit. You're not very familiar with that, I think, but I give a brief information again, just like Doğan Can did. Gamification is also known as a hack day, hack fest, or code fest all over the world. Programmers and others, maybe students, university students, maybe youth in software development and hardware development, including graphic designers, interface designers, project managers, collaborate intensely on software projects in competition with other teams. And our main idea to find a solution for a problem. Let's say, for example, education, for example, business world, you have a problem and you create an app or something which will be useful for the ongoing projects, let's say. And I would like to emphasize on the pictures. You know, we've had lots of hackathons in Turkey, so that's one of the global one which we conduct now, and I am really happy to meet you all. Indian guys are really great people and helpful in every case. Indeed, I have been conducting projects with India, and her name is Ginet. I think I pronounce it right or not, but I know that you are really pretty and helpful people. That's really great chance for me to meet you here. I hope our cooperation will continue in future days. And what about our process and what to expect in our, let's say, 8-hour hackathon? You know, it's indeed very long hours, but for India, it will be a short one, but will be one of the best one, I think. And what we expect, what you need to expect, let's say, some hackathons are intended to simplify for educational or social purposes, although in many cases the goal is to create usable softwares or games, let's say. Occasionally there is a hardware component as well, but we won't be focusing on the hardware or software. We would like you to find a solution for a kind of problem. And hackathons tend to have a specific focus, which can include the programming language used, the operating system, an application or an API, or the subject or the demographic group of programmers. In other cases, there is no restriction on the type of software being created. Set the expectations right and communicate challenges. Let's see how we will continue. You're gonna have a challenge. You must have a problem which you need to solve, and you must come up with the idea, and you must create, and then after that, you must present it in 5 minutes. So presenting is the most important part of the hackathon. Indeed, it's written in 24 hours. Yeah, it's a bit more or less in your hackathon journey, let's say. And the process, predefined challenges, you're going to see what subjects you're going to work for, and you're going to be communicating ahead of the hackathon, or let's say idea marathon. Inspirational speech has been explained by Redwan, as you heard and listened carefully, and then gamification presentation will be done by Gamefed Turkey, our saint Ercan Altuğ YILMAZ, and then the teams will be formed around the ideas, and Doğancan and Mr. Yilmaz is going to present them after my speech, and then teams will be formed around the ideas. Saturday afternoon, indeed, after my speech, you're going to be working with your teams, and tomorrow you're gonna explain your subject with the games and how you do it and why you did it. It is the most important part. Sunday morning, you're gonna work with your teams, and Sunday afternoon, you're gonna present your apps, or let's say your products in front of the jury and pitches. You're going to have your presentations, award ceremony followed by happy hour, and it means that, yay, we did it, we succeeded to finish it in the right time, and then celebration. So now that's the main point that in my presentation, what you must write in your presentation, what you need to be focused on while presenting your product. So first of all, you must be focused on what's the problem. And many of the participants are very excited about their work. And while they're preparing their presentation, they straightly go to the product. But indeed, you must be focused on what is the problem and what is the solution that you are trying to solve. So instead of explaining your product in detail, you need to state your problem and your solution, first of all, in your presentation. And would others agree with the problem? So it must be a real problem. It mustn't be the problem that is just for you, or that just for specific people. Indeed, you must do that for the wider area. And why is there a need to address it, to engage your audience? Always start with a vivid story. So stories are the main parts of the games. So you need to create a story to set up your app. You're gonna identify your problem. you need to solve it, and then you're gonna start your story, and then you will also search on Google or wherever you want, and you must get some notes while searching, because searching is another important part in your hackathon journey. And while pitching, while presenting your product, please use graphics, visuals, data, and which compel your story. And the most crucial part is to prove your problem, and you must have scientific ideas that why you are emphasizing that problem and why it is worth solving. And the second part, can you describe your solution in one sentence? Because you have just limited time, 5 minutes. So you need to simplify your solution in one sentence. So I would recommend the teams to come up with the solution statement with the following template: a solution that helps who to do and what by approach and technology that will benefit. And this statement not only can encapsulate the core ideas of the solution, but also align everyone in the team and easily pitch anyone within 10 seconds. It is so simple and sweet and so time-saving statement. And while you're designing your app, or let's say your product, you must focus on your target users. Are they boys or girls? And what is their learning model? And what do they hate? What do they love? And be specific, focus on that, and know your users. So if you are targeting everyone, you are targeting no one. So you must be specific, and you must narrow the app or game in a standard way. For example, it is gonna be used by the adults who aged maybe 20 to 30. So you must give a specific target audiences, let's say, or users. And what are your users' core needs? After knowing your users, go more in depth to think about what their needs are and look at what is their intention and the pain points from the problem they are facing. For example, who needs a way to do something so that benefit blah, blah, blah. So there's a problem, you come up with the solution, and you must specify your target users. After that, who will benefit it? For example, Mary, a 12-year-old student, needs a way to connect with her classmates in the online class so that she would have the motivation to study continually. So the need statement can be formulated based on the most significant pain point during your investigation. So the age is specific, so the problem is a must. So you come up with the solution again. And if the answers of the questions, what do our users need? And without addressing this question, no matter how fancy your solution is, it doesn't have any meaningful outcome towards your target users. So you must express the solution and why we need this product very well in order to give a correct impact on your jury. Fifth one, what would your families and friends say about your ideas? So after you finished the idea, the solution, the app, so you can get a benefit from your family, your friends, your husband, whoever you want. So, but focus on the age group. So it's very important. You can get some ideas. So they can tell you, you can do that. You can improve this part more because you need blah, blah, blah. So getting their comments, getting their ideas will get better your product. So again, focus on these two questions again. How would your solution make their life easier? And what is the current problem points of the users? I always tell the same thing: problem, solution, problem, solution. So please mention that while you are pitching your idea. And usually 5-minute presentations are not enough for anyone. So sometimes you need to skip some of the slides. So after finishing your slide, you need to come up with the project timeline, resource planning in the deck to make story sounds even more convincing. So sounds, visuals are very important while you're presenting something. I would only recommend this if you have an excellent story upfront, strong ideas presented, and extra buffer time. So I don't mean that you will add sound, you will add visuals. Yeah, you can, but if you have enough time, because working in a team takes lots of time, so you can add them, but later on, not at that time. For juries in the hackathon, they focus a lot more on the ideas, whether it can solve real problems for your users, plus the value and feasibility for implementation. The project timeline and resource plan should be the lower priority within your 5-minute presentation. Story always comes first as the games. Some notes, let me recap. Participants must be sure about all developments are authentic. They have no claim on IP and ideas, so you mustn't cheat anyone else. It's really important. You can invite the developers to the teams with code review, or you can get some suggestions from out of your team. And this way, more creative ideas can be developed. We aim around 5 teams working through the weekend, and each team is going to be average 3 or 4 people. So Doğancan and Altuğ are gonna work on the teams after my speech. And I'm gonna finish my presentation with our hat. Gamification is a human-oriented business model, and it is the strong point, the focus on human beings. So you need to facilitate the people's life, not to harden it, not to struggle, let's say. And thank you for this opportunity to everyone. That's really great. Honor for me to meet you all. I hope we're gonna meet face to face in Turkey as well. Thank you.